Hey everybody, it's Steve with another episode of Keep 'em Rolling, and boy, it has been an interesting summer. I have been out, shopping antique malls and flea markets and garage sales, and I am finding nothing, which, I've determined I am in a very, very deep valley right now. And I've talked about that before, that you have, the valleys in collecting and the peaks in collecting, and, I'm in that valley. So, but you know what? So what? I will get out of that valley. We all know how this works, so not too worried about it, but it's made for a rather slow summer as far as acquiring military items. However, the great thing about this hobby is that you don't need to buy stuff to do this hobby. So I've been watching your videos, I've been doing research, I've been visiting other people's collections. So, that's the upside of this hobby. And I do want to take a moment to thank all of you for being a part of that, for watching these videos and coming along with me on this journey that is military collecting. So it has changed a little bit. I have some things to share with you. I'm on vacation right now in Florida. In fact, when you see this video, I'll be back in Michigan. But one of the things I do down here, as those of you who've watched my channel regularly know, is I will go to the flea market with my dad, and we made the trip. Florida flea markets in the summer, it's off season because it is so hot. The day we went, we got there around 7:45-ish. It was already 84 degrees, and by the time we left at 10:30, it was 97 with about 1,000,000% humidity. So it was a pretty rough flea market, to say the least. Now, there were about maybe 70 plus dealers there, so there was stuff to look at, and I did find some fun things. So let me turn this camera around here and I'll show you what I got. All right, well, this is the small little collection of items that I found at this flea market. And the first thing is this coin right here. I just thought it was really cool. I like that etching, follow me. And then when we flip it over here, the United States Army, 1775 to current. My dad found this in a box that he was going through looking at coins and odds and ends and so forth to see if there was anything fun. And you know what? And that's what this is all about. It's finding fun stuff. And he saw this and he's like, hey, is that something you're interested in? And I'm like, yeah, I don't really collect modern Army. And the person that was running the booth said, oh, it's $1 if you're interested. And I'm like, for $1, I cannot turn that down. It's a great little souvenir to bring home and put on my shelf. And when I look at this, I'll always remember going to the flea markets with my dad. Now, some of you may be able to illuminate me on this, because I don't know if this would be considered a challenge coin or just a collectible coin. So I look forward to your feedback in the comment section, because I know that challenge coins sometimes have a certain size, etc. But either way, it is really cool. And for $1, I mean, how can you say no for something like that? So now, further into the market, I came across a vendor that I've dealt with in the past, and this vendor had this big pile of ration tokens. And these little ration tokens, they're on like a cardboard or fiberboard type material. They read red 1 point OPA, which stands for the Office of Price Administration, which were the people in charge of issuing all of the ration books during World War II. And these little things acted as change. So if you tore a ration coupon out of your book and used it, and the amount of points needed was less than that coupon, the clerk would give you back these in change. So, and for those of you who don't know how the rationing system worked, basically, if I went into the store to buy meat, I would have to use coupons out of my ration book to buy that meat. If I didn't have the coupons out of the book, I couldn't buy the meat. So I would use my coupons. I still had to pay for the meat. So in other words, the coupons didn't act as cash. I would have to present them with the $2 or $3 or whatever it cost for that meat. And then, like I said, this would be the change that would come back if my coupon was more than I needed. And you just put these in your ration book folder. Some of them even had little slots. Now, they came in 2 colors, red and blue. I can't remember. I believe red was for meats and blue was for dairy, etc. I may be wrong on that, but that's what's coming out in my head. These are collected by people. They actually will collect these like coins. If you look really closely, you can see there's like letters stamped that looks like a TT or a TY. And, you know, it's interesting. I was doing research on this to find out that there is a whole group that they, you know, some are more valuable than others. If it's an error coin, they can be worth more and the like. So, but I just like them for the history. They're really cool. Now, this is what he had. I said, I'll take them all. He wanted $2 a bag. There were 7 bags, a total of roughly 160 of these things. And he said, well, you know what? I'm running a sale today, half off. So I got 160 ration tokens for $7, which I thought was a great buy. And for those of you who are US collectors, I recommend picking up a ration book if you don't already have one. And I would recommend picking up some ration tokens if you don't already have them, because they are an important part of our history during World War II. So, and if you are going to pick these up, don't go crazy on price. As you can see, I got 160 for $7. Now that was an incredible find, but these are out there if you keep your eyes peeled. You should be able to pick up a couple for $1, you know, or, you know, what have you. So, you know, keep that in mind. Now, the very last thing I found was this right here. And what we have is we have a honorable discharge. It's the original discharge for one John E. Dillard. He was private first class, 3,876th Quartermaster Gasoline Supply Company. Private Dillard served in New Guinea. And what I love about these is on the back, it gives you this man's complete history. So it gives you what he looked like, it gives you what he did before he was in the service, it tells you when exactly he went into the service. And what's interesting with him is that he went in, let's see if I can find it, where is it? Okay, no, date of induction, December 30th, 1942. He entered into active service January 6, 1943 at Camp Dodge, Iowa. Down here we know that he did 9 months and 15 days stateside, and then 2 years and 3 months and 10 days overseas. He was in New Guinea. He was a dispenser operator, which I'm assuming that means that he's pumping gas. He reached the rank of sergeant, and this is interesting because he reached the rank of sergeant, but he was discharged as a private first class. So what happened? I mean, you go from private to private first class to corporal to sergeant. So he went from sergeant to corporal to private first class. So I would like to know more on that, but unfortunately it does not go into detail about that. What we do know is that he received his Good Conduct Medal and he received his discharge button and so forth. So just a neat piece that covers his history. And then accompanying it was the button. These are pretty common. These little buttons right here are known as the discharge button or the ruptured duck. This is the same emblem that you'll see sewn on a lot of the World War II uniforms. Literally everybody who was discharged was supposed to receive one of these little buttons. So they're not rare, although they're drying up. Like anything World War II, they're beginning to disappear. So if you don't have one of these in your collection, I would look for one of these. But once again, I wouldn't pay a lot of money. A couple bucks for one. You know, there are some that are worth a lot more because they're actually gold. Those are really cool, but just your common one, like I said, a couple bucks just to have one in your collection. Now, these were really important because what these were is something that you would wear on the lapel, like on your suit. Men's suits at this time had a buttonhole on the lapel, and this right here could pin into that buttonhole. And what this showed people was that you'd been in the service. Now, before World War II ended, if you were discharged, this was very important because it would prevent awkward conversations with people who are like, my son is serving. Why aren't someone like you, an able-bodied young man, serving? He's doing his duty. Why aren't you? And you could point at your lapel and say, well, this is my discharge button. I've already been in and I have been discharged. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you for your service, etc. He received his when he got out in 46, and by that time, you know, things had kind of died down, so it wasn't necessarily as important, but he saved it. So we have his discharge button, and then we have his Good Conduct Medal, which I think is really cool because I have never seen one of these before sealed in lucite. What a neat idea. It's almost like a paperweight. This is World War II. It doesn't have his name on the back, which is unfortunate. Now, it didn't look like this when I got it. When I got it, it was filthy. It had a sticker across the front with the price on it and such. And and I brought it home, well, back to my parents' house. And since I'm on vacation, I have time to kind of fool around with things. I washed it with Dawn dish soap, which does a great job getting the sticky residue off. I used only my fingernails. I didn't use a scrubby pad or anything like that for fear of adding really bad swirls into the lucite. And I managed to get it cleaned up. And then it was missing the backing here. This was just, you can see where it had some sort of felt on there, but it had, basically peeled off. So what I did is I gave this a coat of car polish to give it a great shine, and then I went to Hobby Lobby to get felt. The only problem is I didn't have any idea how I was going to attach the felt to the back without it being seen through here. I took this along, I held it up to the different felt colors they had. I liked white the best. And then I discovered that Hobby Lobby has felt with like adhesive already on it. It's like this rigid felt. It's designed to be, put on the back of things to, prevent scratching on a table and that. And I'm like, that's perfect. So $1 for a piece of felt. Brought it back home, cut out a piece that was a little bigger than the metal here. I peeled the backing, stuck it on, and I love how it looks through here. It doesn't look bad at all. And then I very carefully trimmed around the edges. And then once that was done, I just used my fingers to work any little rough spots to give it a very kind of professional finish. And I absolutely love how that turned out. I have a small metal collection, and to have something, I like the unusual, so this definitely will fit with my metal collection. But a great little grouping from a gentleman that, it's still together after all these years. Cost on this was $10. So the total I spent that day at the flea market, $7, $8, $10, $18, which I don't think was a bad day at all. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I don't know if I said this at the start because I filmed this like maybe 15 times, but I am planning on throwing out more content, even if it's just like little videos, so keep your eyes peeled for those. And I do have a fun shopping thing that I'm going on that hopefully will yield some great items I'll be excited to share with all of you, and it might actually yield a few surprises too. This should be coming out in the next week or so, so be looking for that. But on that note, everybody, once again, thanks for watching, and this is Steve reminding all of you to, well, keep them rolling.